All right, officially, guys. Good evening. We're going to break this trading call in 2 parts. I'm actually going to teach on 1 part, so that way it'll help you guys run up a nice little bag, if you don't mind me teaching just a little bit, so you guys could pocket some money and kind of get an understanding of how it moves. All right. So check this out, guys. You guys have been seeing hell of a different movement because there's more people coming to Quotex because of a bit of news. Now, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of what's going on. If you don't know, and if you don't know, now, really simple. CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, is who monitors all trading here in the U.S. All right, these are pretty much the ones that lays down the law, keep certain infractions in place, keep brokers from running off with your money, considering the fact that we are not allowed to use American brokers. So therefore, since we're not allowed to use American brokers, we all have to use overseas accounts with overseas brokers. So anybody ever grew up and was listening to them talk about Swiss accounts and things of that nature and all of that overseas and offshore accounts? Well, if you trade, you actually have one. 1 second, somebody get their video on real quick. 1 second here, hold on. They breathing in the mic. Oh, what he said. So hold on, let me go on ahead. All right, so now, as far as Quotex, Quotex has always been a really humble, quiet broker. Always been my favorite broker. And the reason for is because Quotex doesn't flaunt a lot of fluidity. What that means is you're not going to get a shitload of or a whole bunch of like large candles just flowing, a lot of just rancid momentum just everywhere. It's going up, it's going down. You never really got that, right? What you always got was stability. And so now pocket options always have fluidity, but it was never stable. Pocket options could never choose a solid direction. And what it did, it gave you basically a consolidated incline or consolidated decline. So what does this mean? Well, this means that basically you could jump in and take these lower time frame trades and really kill them, right? But at the same time, it was a little different when you took longer time frames. It always seemed like, let's say you took a 2-minute trade, it would cut back at like 1:50. You took a 3-minute trade, it would cut back at like 3 minutes 20 seconds, 2 minutes 20 seconds, or 2 minutes 45 seconds. It was always something just undercutting the longer term trades. So when I released the ATM course, Always Their Money, meaning the brokers, I focused on time frames anywhere from 5 seconds to 1 minute. Now, what ended up happening is a lot of people left. Now, when I say a lot of people left, let's go to pocket options here. They left because of what I'm about to show you. If you put in CFTC, right, .gov, and you type in pocket options, you'll see them pop up here. When you click pocket options, it gets to telling you that pocket options is on the red list. Okay? Pocket options is on the red list. Now, what does pocket options being on the red list means? It pretty much means that pocket options as a broker is operating outside of the jurisdictions of the United States. Therefore, if anything goes down in layman's terms, let's just say by chance you decide you want to trade and you killing it, and you running up a bag, and then they say, you know what? We just gonna go on ahead and shut down the broker. We don't want to deal with Americans anymore. And they shut it down. Boom. At that very moment, say goodbye to pocket options and all of your money with it. Right? Now, pocket options is one of the biggest, if not the biggest binary broker. And I used to love trading pocket options. Now, even though Quotex was my favorite broker, obviously I traded pocket options like everybody else. I didn't taught so many people that's running around teaching so many people on pocket options. So I'll be the first to tell you that it wasn't exactly easy for me to part ways with pocket options, right? Because it had almost everything that I liked when it came to binary trading, except for stability. Now, for me, stability is super big, super major. I'd rather prefer stability over having fluidity. Why? Because it might take its time to get from point A to point B, but for sure it's going to get to point B at a strong value, right? So I can go in and say, okay, I know it's going to go from point A to point B, and I know it's going to get here in this amount of time because it's moving at this pace. And I can pay attention to the charting environment, meaning what it looks like in the chart. I can pay attention to that, see how far it's moving, and say, you know what? I'm good with this 5-minute trade. And guess what? Not only will I win the 5-minute trade or the hour trade, but I'm going to blow it out the water. But in pocket options, very different. Okay. Pocket options start doing some questionable things anyway, right? So there's a popular YouTuber that a lot of you know me from. Is just super mouthy, don't know when to quit or bite his tongue. And what he did was he let out a secret that was shared with him that was allowing me to get so many of the wins that I got. And that secret was real simple: the milliseconds. If you went in there and you changed the milliseconds, that corrected the time from the server to you. And that's what got mostly manipulated. So what they did was, once they caught wind, because everybody, his channel's super big, right? So everybody caught wind and start adjusting their milliseconds. Now they're winning even more. So what does pocket options do? It completely eradicates the idea of you even being able to touch the milliseconds, and then they replaced it with 5-second trades, enticing people to take these lower time frames because they know majority of people don't even know how to properly trade binary, let alone trade binary and win. And so now when you have advantages like knowing to change the milliseconds and things of that nature, well, things get a little finicky from there for the brokers. So they have to recoup, because remember, these brokers don't charge us commissions. That means they only get paid when we lose. All right. Sometimes it's best to shut your damn mouth, because when you do so, things work out a hell of a lot better for you. So now, with that being said, they changed the milliseconds and they begin now to give us 5 seconds. And it started taking a lot of people's money. Why? Because there was more fluidity and no stability. Now, all this is going to round out in a second because of what you're starting to see in Quotex. And if you're new to Quotex, then I'm going to explain a piece of sauce to you that's really going to help you change the game in your trading, right? So now, CFTC, going back here, says pocket options is out. So be very mindful of all these people teaching you pocket option methods. Now, am I saying to not trade pocket options? I'm not telling you to trade pocket options. I mean, well, at least not to. And I'm not telling you to trade. Me, pocket options, I've taken up a lot of money from pocket options, right? Close to $1 million, all facts. I've shown my accounts, withdrawals, all of that stuff. So I'm not one to say that pocket options don't pay. I've never had a problem with pocket options paying. I've never had a problem with them manipulating my accounts or anything. I've never had a problem with them. But I do see the manipulation to be pretty heavy when it comes down to YouTube and when it comes down to certain information getting out. I also see a lot of broker manipulation when it comes down to how the chart is presented. Remember, we're trading against 3 titans. This is bank months. So the last quarter is your bank months, right? That is October, November, December. Now, January, February, March is your market makers. April, May, June, that's for us to trade, right? Our residential traders. And then July, August, and September. Now, July, August, and September becomes broker months. So you see the majority of the manipulation happening in these months. Hence why people say those are the months that they typically want to lay off of. Oh, the summer months you want to stay away from. You don't have to stay away from summer months as long as you know who you're trading against and you know the rules to trading. Case in point, a broker cannot manipulate everything about the chart. Your price still has to open and close based on, and this is organic rule, based on Onanda and Forex charting. Now, when you're trading OTCs, it's a little bit different. But keep in mind, they're not manipulating OTCs. This is how the game is played. You're not going to jump on a basketball court and expect to pick the ball up and run to the other goal and then slam it on the floor and say touchdown, right? Not because it's convenient for you. The rules are simple. You have to dribble the ball. You have to shoot the ball. Nobody can say, oh, he's manipulating the rules because he's dribbling and shooting. That's just how it's played. So let's kind of like burn that. For all of you guys that's like, okay, I'm afraid to trade OTCs, or you don't supposed to trade OTCs and everything. Everybody that told you not to trade OTCs, 9 times out of 10 can't trade. And it's easier to sell y'all fake information and BS than to tell y'all the real, because at that very point, you have a lot of information that won't keep people. Like people, a lot of you got to understand, a lot of these cats hop on this YouTube and stuff like that, and they want retention. I'd rather get retention based on the fact that I'm going to trade with you and you're going to learn from me, opposed to me trying to sell you some nonsense that's really not going to work. And then you're going to be back on YouTube trying to find something else. All right. Going back to CFTC, right? So they're looking at pocket options and they're saying, and it's right here, this entity operates outside the United States with no or limited U.S. presence, meaning if they decide to pack up and leave, they don't have to give you your money back. If they decide that you won, but they don't want you to withdraw, they don't have to allow you to withdraw. None of these things have to be done. Pocket options can literally go in your pocket, and they have the options to take what's in your pocket. Drop a 7 in the chat if everybody understands where I'm at with this so far. Now, before I move on, does anybody have any questions? Because I know there's some new people on the call, and I kind of want to make everybody abreast and catch everybody up. Does anybody have any questions about what I've explained so far about pocket options being on the red list and why we switched over to Quotex? If so, please feel free to unmute. And fellas, if you hear ladies speaking, always give them the floor first. It's just the right thing to do. Is everybody good? We're all good. Any questions? Going once, going twice.
I have a question, if you can hear me.
I got you. Go for it.
So I just came on late. I missed the link. Can you give a brief summary about what you just talked about, if you don't mind?
All right. How about this? How about I just put this call on YouTube and you can run it back? Just because I got some teaching to get to. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? We good because we great, or we great because we good?
Good job. I was actually trying to give your mom a napkin.
All right. So I'm showing you guys this now because as you can read into it, it says it is soliciting or accepting funds from U.S. customers and offering a product within the CFTC's jurisdiction. A review by the commission has revealed that this entity is acting in a capacity that appears to require registration but is not registered with the CFTC, meaning they're asking for your license and all that other stuff to be able to get your money, right? You know, and give you money, pay you out. But you want to know what the CFTC is really, really pissed off at? And in defense to pocket options, how many of you guys paid taxes on your pocket options when you withdrew? Anybody show hands? No? Nobody? Not one person paid taxes? Didn't think so. Now, if you did, you more or less did so because you didn't want somebody to audit your account and say, hey, you made in the 6-7 figures from this, right? Right. So now, if the Commodity Futures Trading Commission can't run down on what's going on, what's being made there, then guess what? That means you taking away money. You literally making legal money against the idea of paying a percentage on it, and they don't even know. So they're looking at it like, you got a nerve to be registering people and having people do all this, and you're not linking with us. So now we can't run down on y'all about taxes, and we can't run down on them about taxes. So we're going to red list you. Now, obviously, when they decided to red list them, that gave pocket options the opportunity to say, hey, we could break out whenever we want to. So let's gather as much as we want to gather. At the same time, it's also scaring people, rightfully so. All right. Now, keep this in mind. I'm not going to go into all of the other brokers on here, but I'm singling out Pocket Options mainly because a lot of you guys have been asking me why the switch from Pocket Options to Quotex. Here's the answer. So the inclusion of this entity's name on the red list does not mean that the CFTC or a court has concluded that a violation of any provision of the Commodity Exchange Act or the commission's regulations has occurred. So what they're saying is, hey, we're not saying Pocket Options did anything bad to you guys because y'all haven't reported it yet, but we're saying they could. Now, here's the crazy part. They've been on the red list since July 6th of 2022, and it's November 12th, 2022. Okay? So the danger is when you see heavy broker manipulation and Pocket Options, there's nothing you can do. You can't even complain now. You can't cause a class action. You can't go to the CFTC and say, hey, I'm trading this broker and finish the, fill in the blanks. And they say, oh, well, this is what we'll spring into action. Well, that's not the case. So what does that mean for us? That means trade at your extreme risk. And yes, it is an extreme risk. When they are on the CFTC and they are red listed, they basically gave them the green light to pick up and go when they want because you've been warned. So what do you think happened? Well, we know IQ Sense and what's the other one? Race Options and all the other ones. Well, they're all horrible brokers, just calling it what it is, right? So at this point, why are they horrible brokers? Well, check this out. If you are enabling anybody to have rollovers, that's a good tool to have. But you have to put more money in on this rollover. And that's really great. But guess what? If the broker can determine, if you're trading OTCs, just know that most brokers don't control their OTCs. All right. If you don't understand that, then let me break this down to you also. And again, this is for people who isn't locked into Cuzin Cash. So consider this a free lesson, right? OTCs. See, trading, let's put in trading. A Google platform, right? So check this out. Let's scroll down here and let's just go on ahead, OTC trading, right? I want to show y'all something. Over-the-counter trading, it gives you a breakdown of what it is and all that. And then you can find in this list different companies that offer over-the-counter trading. Right? OTCmarkets.com, official site of OTCQX, OTC QB. I mean, you can go right in here, and if you had your own brokerage, you could sit and work with these people to create OTCs for your brokers, for your own brokerage. Do you understand? That means OTCs is just as prevalent in Forex as it is in binary trading, right? So everybody that gave Pocket Options and all these other brokers that offer OTCs a hard time, just giving y'all that heads up. You owe an apology because they really couldn't control anything that was happening on the charts. Now, does that mean they can't control what you see? Yeah, they can control big time what you see and how you see it because they can slow down the servers. Now, if you don't know what that means, that's the equivalent of when gaming online became first popular. One of the games that I used to play was Call of Duty. One of the tricks that they used to do when somebody couldn't beat you, they called them noobs, whatever. I'm a little old, so whatever. Was they would pull their cord halfway out the box and halfway in. So it was getting just enough electricity or just enough signal and service to be functional, but it lagged. So then they could kill everybody on the board 1,000 times before they actually died. Like they would die from being shot first in the whole game, but then they didn't kill everybody before they killed over and started over. So what you did was you slowed it. If you did that, you slowed the signal down and all the packets of information that has to travel through didn't get through to where they needed to get to. Boom. So what are you saying, cousin? Are you saying that these cats is manipulating what we see, but not the actual trading platform? Absolutely. Now, for those brokers who do control their own OTCs, the law, and they're functioning within the jurisdictional value of America, because once upon a time, pocket options actually was within the jurisdictions. Once upon a time, though. Now, what they do is they slow down the server speed. So pocket options used to slow down the server speed a lot. All right. This is why you want to be able to change in milliseconds. Now, if you are unfamiliar with changing in milliseconds, then you might want to drop this in your source notes. I've taught this before. I'll say this one more time. This does not just conclude to OTCs on pocket options or binary period, but it concludes on all trading. Do you know that you have the same abilities with the milliseconds to speed up your server speed so that way you can get on the move as soon as it happens, opposed to being behind it on MetaTrader 4? If you don't know how to do it, then go on ahead and make sure you DM me and I will send you the screenshots exactly how. I just don't feel like pulling up my MetaTrader because it takes a while on this computer for some reason. I got to figure out why, but it takes forever. But yes, you can, in the right-hand corner, you'll know if you have your MetaTrader near, and if you look in the right-hand corner, you'll see that there was a bars that's in the right-hand corner. They're red and green. If you click on said bars, you'll notice MS, that's milliseconds, and you'll notice lower milliseconds. If you pick that one, watch your screen. If you're behind, you'll see that your screen is seen like it's sped up. It didn't speed up, it just puts you closer to the actual movement of the timing on MetaTrader 4 or 5. Now, just a little sauce for you to get, going back to Quotex here. All right, so check this out. One of the reasons why you're seeing a lot of indecisive movement is because everybody who's smart begin to jump ship on pocket options, okay? Now, because this is YouTube for a lot of people that's watching, and because you guys are on here live, if you sit back and think about it, right? If you sit back and think about it, which is also shameless plug, I joined Fate, that's F8. Make sure you guys lock in for Fate, because that is one of the social medias that traders use. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, at the end of the day, it's going to help you differentiate who's really serious, who's really making money, who really has the statistics and everything that you want to learn from. And it keeps you from spending hours upon hours upon hours trying to comb through a bunch of half-witted facade-based binary videos or Forex videos where they're only teaching you the indicators or giving you free game, right? Giving you game that they found on YouTube, and then they're reteaching it. And it's like, if you ask them a question, they have no clue what to do. So with that being said, guys, coming over here, a lot of people jumping shit from pocket options and sliding through Quotex. Now on Quotex, Quotex says, hey, you know what? Man, what if we start allowing, right? What if we start allowing, right? Here we go. What if we start allowing for more time frames to be examined? So now they're adding extra currencies, they're giving you bonuses and everything, and that's all great and good. But the kicker was Quotex never allowed you to trade under a minute up until 2 days ago. All right. 2 days ago, they allowed you to now trade up to 5 seconds or down to 5 seconds, right? Now, that's a good thing if you mastered how to trade at a lower time frame. But I'm going to tell you what the problem is when you're trading a lower time frame. The problem is Quotex has always seemed like they had indecisive movement. Why? 3 key factors. Number one, remember what I said earlier and all the information that I gave, a lot of people don't know how to trade binary. And a lot of people are making a fatal mistake right now of watching this video or being on this live right now and thinking, I know how to trade binary because I've been trading Forex for this amount of time. Well, let me be the first to tell you, if you've never heard this, you can very much trade Forex like binary, but you cannot trade binary like Forex. What I mean by that is in Forex, it's great to know the trade. Oh, it's going to sell, it's going to buy. It's great to know if it's moving up or down. You know the distance, then you can get in, and depending on your account size, you can hold on for all the retracement until finally it goes in your direction, and then you can make your money. And as soon as it go green, or you let it go in your direction for a while, and then you can pull out. And binary, if you do not have the expiration time, then that's it. Doesn't matter. You can counter trend trade, you can follow the trend. None of that really matters. If you don't have the expiration time, that's it. You're going to 9 times out of 10 lose, or unless you're lucky, you're going to win. But expiration time is everything. All right. So that's number one. So if you're on here thinking, oh, I'm going to kill it, I'm going to run up a bag because I trade Forex pretty well, I'm here to tell you a lot of that's cap. If you're trading OTCs, the 200 EMA, anybody that tell you you can use the 200 EMA, yeah, that's cap too. The reason why is because what's the biggest rule about the 200 EMA when it comes to Forex? Oh, it has magnetic values, right? Price always goes to the 200, whether buying or selling. Well, that's not always the case, because we can mark up a chart, and I can show y'all a markup chart, and I can show you where the 200 is, and it stays within the markings, because OTCs, over the counter, are manufactured charts, which is also indicating that they are predetermined. So Monday they might sell, Tuesday they might buy. It's not by chance like in an organic pair, but it's because they're predetermined. Monday is on a schedule to sell. That's that. All right. So just kind of wanted to make y'all aware of that too. So here we are, people jumping ship, and they're jumping into Quotex. And then another thing they're thinking is, oh, well, it's binary. I can trade Quotex the same way I trade pocket options. Theoretically, yes. Theoretically, yes. But understand that these are two different algorithms, completely different algorithms. So let me point out some things that will help you. For starters, keep this in mind. You're going to always run into a little bit of consolidation throughout trading Quotex, right? You see this? Now, I don't know if y'all noticed, but this is consolidation going completely down the trend. So you only get, let's count the moves. 1 solid sale, 2 solid sales. And this whole trend, and unless you started up here, if you started up here, you had 1, 2, 3 solid sales. And now you got to think about buys. 1 buy, 2, and then even smaller consolidations. Here, we got to think that it may consolidate somewhere in this area. And then after it consolidates in that area, let's say it goes up and it might consolidate in this area, and then it continues to go up and it might consolidate in this area, and then you have a trend change, and then it will repeat the process. All right. So keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. It will always have this issue. Now, pocket options didn't have that. But why is that happening? Really simple. Because of fluidity. And pocket options, you had good trends that went down. You had good trends that went up. You had some consolidation. And then we had a breakout, boom, down, up, and it continued on, right? But here, these trends don't have to be super long. Consolidate down, consolidate, good, nice little trend. Here's the drop, consolidate, consolidate, trend, consolidate, trend. Look what it's doing, y'all. Drew this out. And so we want to see this thing take off after it bounced off that 62. But we'll get into that in a second as well. All right. So now, make sure y'all write that down. In Quotex, expect a consolidation, and do not expect to take all of those magnificent moves in every single trend. Sometimes you get a solid trend where it's just selling. Sometimes you get that solid trend. All right. You get something that look like this. This is beautiful. All right. And let's call it what it is. So if we create a channel that drops down here, all right. We got this little channel going, and we have small bit of consolidation here and here. And all it did was it continued to sell, even though it bounced off of this, hit here, dropped down, consolidated. All right, so this was your breakout. Okay. Then you had the consolidation here, here, and here. But let's not forget that one. And let's continue to build upward. And you guys can see exactly what I mean. So what am I showing you guys? If you're unfamiliar, well, I'm about to release this course that's based primarily on algorithm training. You guys need to learn how to trade against the algorithm as well. Now, I would say that he's the Titan, but he's not. He's just a part of it, which is the brokers. There is a certain form of algorithmic trading here because it's OTCs. Remember, it's predetermined. So if you don't know what that means, really simple, it means this. Let's say, for example, here, this red line indicates where it's going to buy. So we got this buy growing from here. If nobody trades, hold on, let's get a nice little arrow there so y'all can see it. Boom. If nobody trades, the trend will smoothly go until it is completely overbought, and then it will begin to sell, right? So here's the problem though. With OTCs, it's already in line. It's already predetermined, coded that it is going to buy, right? Real smooth. But where we come in at, and let's use a different color. I know this is backwards, so you know what? I'm going to use blue so I ain't got to hear nobody's mouth. Where we come in at is that somebody is going to say, oh, this thing is going to, it's been overbought for some time. It's going to sell. So let's say it was overbought and it initially got overbought right here. So what would happen is it would begin a smooth transition up, and then a couple people be like, yeah, it's overbought, it's going to sell. And then what happens is it gets here, takes a small little breath, then shoots back up. Then somebody say, oh, it's overbought. It's been overbought for a long time. So enough people believe that, then it do something like this, and then it shoots back up, right? And it keeps repeating this process until finally it gets to where it's already predetermined to go. And then it drops back down. So what did we do? What was being done right here? All we did was slowed it down, but we never deviated it from where it was going. It was going to go up regardless. For those who counter trend traded, it slowed it down. That's it. That is how OTC movement works. You trading against it, not just you individually, because obviously it takes a lot of money to create movement, but when the majority of people are trading against it, all it does is it slows it down, then it shoots it back up, and vice versa. If it was selling, then you would get the same movement. So now, what does it look like if it was selling? Well, same thing. So I'm just going to use this line here. All right. It's selling. And then we believe it's oversold right here. Oh, this thing is oversold, so it's going to come up. And so what happens is it ended up retracing a little bit, then it continues to sell. Oh, this thing is oversold right here. So retrace a little bit, then it continues to sell until eventually, boom, it decides, well, that's it for the day. That's all of the ATR and ADR there is. Now, can we push it past the average true range, right? Yes, we can push it past it because it has reached its goal for the day. And it's not going to turn back around until it is time. So since time went back at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the charts reset. Now, what that means is I was up $2,500 or so for today, for yesterday. And now, as you see, I haven't traded. Okay. So we got a couple people up here. So shout out to America on this one. All right. I see you right here, right here. Okay. This is all new. This is all based on you trading today. For those, because a lot of people ask me that question. How do I get on the board? Well, you got to be in your live chart. And here's the time frames. Okay. Now, That's all OTC movement. So now when you're wondering why it's so jittery, it's because now people are taking full advantage of trying to get in on these 5-second trades. Now, the first day, when a lot of people didn't know, this thing ran super smooth. But now, guys, it's not running so smooth. It's very jittery. It's fluctuating. It's like it's going up, it's going down, right? So right here, I see right here in this indication that there's just enough selling power. Just enough selling power. Not a whole lot. Now, you see how wide it is, these two moving averages in the MACD? With the settings that I have on my chart, it opens up, and with these settings, it allows it, the MACD moving averages, to be braided super tightly. The wider it is, the deeper the move is. Once it closes up, then that move is coming to an end. So as you can see, it's closing up now, right? It's closing up. And that's because this trend is looking like it's about to be over, right? And so now here's where the trickery could come in at. Keep this in mind. And it's already on the floor in the oversold condition here in our stochastic, right? So it's a possibility that what it will do, and this is what a lot of people are missing out on, is that it'll hit the floor, arc a little bit, and then come back down to be under my 3 level. So I have my stochastic at 3. Okay. Now, if that happens, just for the sake of this, yep, I'm gonna be cheap on this. Let me go on ahead and I'm gonna take $1. Take $1 and I'm gonna take 1 minute. All right. Now I kind of missed it. The move should have been up here when I first called it out. But my firm belief is that this has to go under, or should go under, the 3, right? I'm looking forward to going to the 3, and the reason why I'm looking forward to going to the 3 is because it looks wide open here in my MACD, indicating, as me and fellow trader Professor Sprue would say, the MACD is pretty much eaten, and it's wide open, so it's indicating this sell to get deeper, and as y'all can see, it's happening right here. All right. So now we got about 30, what's that, 20 seconds left. We got about 20 seconds left, and it's threatening. Now, my suspicion is that it created that wick and everything. And now look at this. I'm going to show you all another secret. When this thing is pointing down, when it's all red, you see it's climbing, right? Watch what happens when you see it all green. It's going to sell. Just giving you the heads up. The market, it's not the broker that's indecisive. It's the people in it. Now, we won that trade. Hooray. Big deal, right? We knew we was going to win that trade. Why? Because our indicators let us know that it was selling. But what if we'd have took a 5-second trade? So let's take that 5-second trade here, right? If I'm going to take a 5-second trade, I want to get a pullback. Now, here's the secret sauce for you. When it opens one color, typically it flashes the other. And in most cases, about 80% of the time, it will go the way that it flashed against. Like this candle opened red and then it went green. So if I took a 5-second buy, I'd have won. And it looks like I still would have won. So now whenever I'm trading a 5-second value or something short, I want to wait for a pullback. You see that? See how it's pushing? It's going to exhaust itself. And then I'll take like the buy there. Okay. Now it pushed up. We win the trade. Real simple. That's how you trade the pullbacks. It's real simple. All right. Now, also, I knew the direction, right? Cheat code, you know, we watched it bounce off, but something else that you got to peep in OTCs is it will hang out in the overbought or the oversold position for a while. So it's always good to look left and count how many candles it stays oversold or overbought before it springs out. And then history tends to repeat itself. Guys, these are just ways that you can trade this new Quotex market and run up a bag. It's jittery because everybody's trying to get these 5-second trades. Everybody want to get in on a 5-second trade, right? And so you have to be mindful of how it's moving, because this time we really can't blame the broker. We got to blame a bunch of inexperience. Now it's wide open. It opened red. Let's see if we can still off that buy right there. 2, 1, and we take it home, right? Boom. Because it opened red. That means I knew at some point in time it had to go back up. And it's wide open down here. MACD eaten, so we know I'm using the MACD as momentum. I'm using this to determine exactly the overbought or oversold position. I'm using that, and then I'm just taking it stride for stride. That's it. Oh, guys, and I'm up today, $2.76. I can catch the bus. Let's get it. All right, so with that being said, I would behoove you guys to make sure you understand that everybody that's trading is going to trade real greedy because one, the average person is not trading with a trading plan. They're not trading with a compound plan. They're just in the charts and they're trading because they have live monies in their live account. They won't trade their demo the way they trade in their live, or they won't trade their live the way they trade their demo because most people lose because they don't have the heart to trade. All right. So just giving y'all that heads up. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions?
I have a question. If you're doing the 5-second trade, what minute chart would be the best to be on?
So if you are doing the 5-second trades, it's the best, the best time frame to be on is the one that you can register the movement better. I'll give you an example of what I mean. So I won those 2 trades. I'm on a 30-second. What if I was on a 10-second? Right? Here's the 10-second movement. So I'm playing a pullback. Now the pullback is harder because you got to be faster. Now I'm gonna tell you one more issue that the broker, and this is an issue that the broker's having, but I don't think that it's the broker. Again, it's the momentum. So look, you see these pullbacks? See, I was supposed to catch it, but I was trying to explain. So check it out. All right. So when this lower time frame is moving. One, it opened green. I'm gonna take that sell there, and I missed it. Why? Because of the time frame. The time frame is 10 seconds, so it's going to move faster. So this might be too fast. Here we go. I believe it's going to drop down. Let's see. Oh, we tightening up. Cool. Let's see if we can get a sell off the bounce off that 62 there. Look, super tight. And bounce off that. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Super tight here. It's consolidated. I don't want to force the trade. But look, notice that here's the drop. Here's the drop here. Move, consolidation. All right. It's indicating that it wants to buy. So let's see if we can get a move off that 62. Open red, and then I'm going to take the buy. And it threw my entry all the way up top. Did we get it? Yep, we got it. Now, why did I take that move? Because it opened red, and I seen it. And I know that it was going to head towards the 62. See that bounce off the 62? We might be able to get a buy off that. Let's see. Let's see if it'll pull back over that 62. Nope, it held. Oh, got it. Boom. Remember, y'all, that 62 is a strong ass moving average. So it's typically always going to bounce. And that is the 62 EMA, exponential moving average. So because for me, this is too fast because you got to be quick. And one of the things that you're going to have issues with later on is jumping in. So check this out. Now we're in a 5-second chart, right? And the 5-second chart is very close to the line chart. Now, a lot of things that you're going to see in the 5-second charts is gaps and order blocks and information like that. There's a difference between gaps and order blocks. Order blocks is when the market has a reprieved amount of information that needs to be filled. But a gap is server issues, right? Remember, that gap is a lot of manipulation. That doesn't, just because you see a gap, you have to know the difference between gaps and order blocks. And the best way to determine them is to have something else that you can reference it to, because that means maybe like the information coming to your computer wasn't complete, because if you check your phone and there's no gap there, then that's not an order block. Order block, that is actually a gap. But if you check your phone, you see that? This is what I mean. You see that? Now, this is an order block. Then this next candle or so is going to come back and fill this area. And let's see. Fill it. That was an order block. See what I mean? You're going to run into a lot of those in a lower time frame. So my suggestion is to not trade the lower time frames as low as 5 seconds if you cannot read the charts fast enough. Start longer, work your way down. Because my suspicion is the 15 seconds to 30 second would be the best way, best time frame, just in my suspicion.
Thank you, Cuz.
No worries. Any other questions, guys? We good, we good, we good.
I got a question, cousin.
Go
So
for it.
can you
Wait,
go
cousin, I just
over-
want to say this. I want to say this. I'm up $3. Now I can get a bus pass. Go for it. I'm messing with you, gangster Tito.
Can you go over the line chart, considering on Quotex we can only do a 5-second, and how we catch those? I'm sorry, y'all, this is my grandbaby. And how
Don't
we
worry
catch
about it.
those same pullbacks and things in the line chart, because like on the line chart with the indicators that you have, I look at that, the timing of like how long it's in the overball, how long it's in the oversold, but the line chart just, it moves so fast that I can't really catch the pullbacks like you guys can looking at the candles.
Okay, I got you, cuz. So one of the advantages that pocket options had on the line chart that Quotex doesn't have is that they had a M1, M2, M40 or so time frame, that the way the candlesticks move, the way the line charts move to replicate the candlesticks, right? So keep this in mind. Initially, Japanese candlesticks was a way to be able to read the actual line charts, which is the original read first, right? So now, just like in pocket options, if you was to scroll all the way down, which is, let's pull up a pocket option really quick, right? Really quickly, guys. So let's pull up pocket options here. Boom. All right. We're going to pull up pocket options, and we're in the line chart. Y'all see over here where it say M2? Now this thing can go as low as you can get it, depending on your screen resolution. I'm on a laptop, so M2 for me. And then you see how fast the ball is moving, right? So a lot of you guys, if you were in my binary boot camp, y'all already know. Y'all should be cooking this, right? I'm talking about sniper entry gang, all that. Drop that sniper entry gang in there if you could catch sniper entries off the line chart. Now, to somebody new, this would be fast. All right. But if you've been trading for a while, you know that this is really not as fast, and it can be seen. Now, the advantage that pocket options actually had in the wake of trading the line charts was the screen size. Now, notice when you zoom out, it seems like the ball is moving just a tad bit slower. All right, so you let it settle, and you see this little movement right here. See this little movement right here? And then it pauses and everything and all of that. And the movement is not as frantic as far as being up and down. Like, you do see some movement. This is like the fastest I've ever seen it at this time frame, right? Let's go to a higher time frame. Here we go. So I do see this. Let's refresh this just in case. All right, let's refresh this. Give it a second. All right. So now, even though it's ticking, it's not going all over the place like it would if we was to zoom directly in, right? So I'm putting that out to say the same thing here for Quotex. So now here with Quotex, if I want to trade, and I'm a little bit like, for instance, I'm going to take, even though we're not going to be on a call that much longer, but I'm going to take a 10-minute somewhere in here. So what I'm looking for, as I taught in boot camp, is I'm looking for the peaks and valleys. And you see how it looks like it's just sitting dormant. But is it really sitting dormant? If we zoom in, it's moving, right? So to answer your question, cuz, the exact same way that I taught to trade it on pocket options, you can trade it the exact same way here, 7 seconds. And I want to see it come down. Let's see if I can get a sniper entry. I see that there. I'm going to take that buy there. And that might have been a little bit. Yeah, that was a little. Did I get it? Okay. Yeah, I went in a little late. All right, so cool. And I'll show you exactly what I was looking for when I took the entry. And so what I like to pay attention to is the M's and W's that I taught you guys about, right? So we have leg 1, 2, 3. I knew it was going to sell. Leg 1, 2, 3, that's a W, so I know it's going to buy. Leg 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, so it's going to sell. And so I'm looking for, with Quotex and the way it moves on Quotex, I'm looking for a lot more M's and W's. Leg 1, 2, 3, and 4 for that W. I'm looking for that. Or you can go leg 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the W. All right, we have an M here, leg 1, 2, 3. And then, of course, we're going to be looking for the sell. And look, the sell is happening. All right. Here's your sell. Here's Johnny. Look at that. That was real time. I was trying to catch it, but I couldn't switch from my tool fast enough. All right. So leg 1, 2, 3 on this sell. We know we're looking for the buy. So win, lose, or draw, I'm still looking for the buy. So all I'm looking for, because look. All right. Let me draw this one out too. I'll use this tool here. Leg 1, 2, 3. And here's that W. Here's the M, leg 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's that W. And so now, leg 1, 2, 3, I'm looking for the sell, and the sell is happening, and I'm missing it again because I'm drawing on a damn board, but y'all can pretty much see where we're going. All right, so let's see if I can just paint it out with the mouse spot just hovering. All right, so now we have leg 1, 2, 3. That was a fake out leg. And look at this, leg 1, 2, 3, I'm looking for the buy. I'm going to take my 7-second buy here. Let's see, 3, 2, 1. And we should took that home. Why? What did I see? That W I was drawing out. Leg 1, 2, 3, and here's your W, 4. Boom, it's happening again. Y'all see that? Leg 1, 2, 3. Why wouldn't it buy? His course is going to buy. There you go. There you go. Now, I want to show you guys something. And because I love you, I'm about to ruin my $3.52 here. All right. But it's in the name of teaching. Shara, I hope that answers your question, cuz, of what to look for.
Yes, cuz, thanks.
All right, guys. Now, here is the big finale for this tonight's lesson. And check this out. The lag. Everybody's complaining about this lag, which inspired this call, right? Yes, the lag seems bad. But keep in mind, there's a bunch of people in here trading. And if you look, like we're at 1,622. At one point in time, we were at 4,500. That means 4,500 people are trading. Pocket options probably got all of 200,000 people trading it right now. Okay, so Quotex is fairly new. This is why you want to learn Quotex. And if you're not on any of my calls, my trading calls, nothing like that, you're not in my private group, you might want to get there to learn how to do this stuff because it's potent. Now, I'm going to show y'all something. Here is one of the downsides to trading a lower time frame. So I'm going to at least attempt to win. So let me see if I can find something here, right? And then I'm going to take okay. So this is, I see a lot of buying power here, but I don't see enough buying momentum, but the hell with it. I'm going to take 20 of these $1 bill trades, right? See, look, it's already coming down, right? Come on. See, I see, I got your number. Hold on. Look, that's a little tight. I don't like that one, even though the super trend is telling me it's going to shoot up pretty strong. Do we want to balls up on this one? No, give me something good. Give me something good. I at least want to try to win, right? Okay. So we got momentum here. We got some buying power. It is going against it. Watch this, y'all. I'm just going to tap about 20 times. Boom. That was 20 times. Y'all see the delay here? For all my compounders, y'all see that? It's the entry all the way up here and all of that. This delay is because this broker is not used to this multitude, or wrong word, magnitude, I'm sorry, of trading, nor is it used to the multitude of people trading at the same time. Okay, Quotex can be a phenomenal broker for you to use, but you still have to learn the algorithmic way of trading in order for you to be able to survive it. Plus, this is the bank month. So we don't necessarily, I don't care who you are, you can try to sell whatever you want to sell. Don't let them gas y'all. You don't necessarily trade the bank months, you survive them, but you survive them in style. So you survive them by being profitable. One of the glitches you're going to want to look for is every time the candle hits 2 seconds, it's going to give you a sporadic move. Just giving y'all that heads up now. Now, why did we lose that trade? Do you see that it's glitching even when it is like freezing up? Even when we won that trade? Now, all the quick pullbacks I was catching one trade at a time, taking it home. You might even be able to get in two, take it home. But the moment you start compounding, y'all, it is going to show. It's going to show this drag and this delay. This is because you still have to factor in that there are so many people putting in trades the exact same time you putting in or this exact same chart, and it has to process every single trade count. And so without it being as big of a broker as pocket options is, you're going to run into these types of issues. Give it time. It's not the broker, it's a bunch of people. Because look, I took it for the buy, and in any right, this would be an easy, like every indicator was indicating that it was going to go up. It ended up pulling me out the trade just to go in my direction anyway. Y'all think that that's like by chance? No, it's not by chance. It's just the fact that there's so many people trading against it, right? So many people trading against it. And what did I tell y'all earlier? I'm glad this is happening. Remember I said when it's buying, it's going to sell? Look at this. Now, the last time I said that, if you rewind this video back, I said it was selling and it was buying. And I'm like, hey, man, when it's buying, it's going to sell. And so, look, all of this is saying 97% is saying it's going to buy. Now, watch how the moment that the majority start ruling that it's going to sell, this bad boy is going to shoot up. Pay attention to your indicators and not the indicators, not the indication by this meter, because if this meter is 100% accurate, then they're just letting you know that they don't know what the hell they doing when it comes to trading. So please don't be a follower, be a leader. So hopefully that answered your questions, all of the questions that you had. All right. Any questions, guys? Any questions before I call this teaching over? Questions going once. Questions going twice. All right. I hope that you guys enjoyed and completely understand the explanation that I gave on exactly how to trade the lower time frames in Quotex. I hope I answered as much of your questions as I possibly could answer. And for the sake of this information being needed, I will drop this information on YouTube tonight. So as soon as the video is finished rendering, it will pop up. So please make sure you go to my channel. All you gotta do is put in Cuzin Cash in YouTube and click the bell. I'm not much of a YouTuber, so that links and subscribers and all that. Yeah, I'm not good at that, right? That's not what I do. I treat. So with that being said, though, like I don't even monetize on my channel. It's like no point because like I don't sit around looking to make that many videos to do this. So with that being said, what I will do is though, one of the cousins said I suggested that I should put like my own advertisements in the beginning of the video. So I'll probably start doing that and everything. But I am going to put together my Quotex team and finally release my Quotex team so that way you guys can trade and on the bracket with us. No worries. All right. So that way you'll make some money when we're making money and life will be good. All right. So if you're interested, if you like the sauce that you got tonight, do me a favor. If you're watching this on YouTube, put the link in the comments section and follow it and lock in or get locked out. And if you are on a live call and you like this information, DM me and I'll hook you up for the low to be able to get on these types of calls all the time. With that being said, I love you guys. I appreciate you. And now I have to get back my $19.48. So this will conclude the teaching portion of this call, and I will go